Namaskar, I'm Ashok Vyas, and I have the pleasure of welcoming Padma Shri Dr. Sudhir Parikh to
Namaskar.
week. So, welcome, Doctor. And since last week, a lot has happened in terms of the number of COVID-19 affected patients. America has crossed 1 million mark. India is still controlled, yet the number now is 31,000 plus, with 1,008 deaths in India. So overall, how do you see the handling of COVID-19 crisis by India?
Well, I think Prime Minister Modi has done an excellent job by locking down the whole thing on time, on timely manner, and very early enough. And that's why the number of deaths and number of fatalities and number of COVID cases or infections are much less as compared to the population of the country.
So there are many factors which come into play, though the country is under the state of lockdown, but then the politics is also working. And of course, the problem, genuine problem of labor, especially those who are working in another state. Now there are going to be some massive efforts that these laborers may commute and go to their respective states. Do you see that is likely to pose some sort of challenge, threat, as far as the fight for COVID-19 is concerned?
Yes, it will pose some challenge, but I think all the citizens are equal. So if the poor laborer wants to go back to their home, we should, because they do not have good shelter or good food and work, and so government should make some kind of arrangement to send them home, and then let them decide what they want to do. They want to come back or not after everything is over. But by doing that, government has to have, it's a big task, and the logistic is very complicated. But I think they all deserve to go home as a citizen of India, which is a democratic country.
Absolutely, that goes without saying. But considering the special circumstances, and let's come to America very briefly, and then we'll go back to Maharashtra with a lot of protests, which are kind of opposing the lockdown or the state that we are in. There has been a huge number of protests in America, where I think one was in DC also, where they want that everything should start opening up faster than what is being envisaged. How do you see what these people have in their mind? They were blatantly doing things which they are not supposed to be doing.
Well, that's very deplorable, and that's not good sign, because social distance is a very key to put the brake on this infection spreading. So now this kind of protest, of course, everyone has right to protest. That doesn't mean that they should protest completely illogically. And they should. Government is trying to open up the country in phase wise. And as you can see, the almost 11 states he's opened up in some form, partial or full or whatever. And so other, but depending upon the particular state, I think every state is different, and they have to kind of respect what is their data, scientific data, what is their scientific situation, and what else they can do in order to open up the economy and country.
Absolutely. Opening up is important. And as we talked about Maharashtra last week, it was a different matter. That issue still continues. But before we talk about the conversation between Chief Minister of Maharashtra and Prime Minister Narendra Modi, here's a moment to pay our tributes to the great actor whom we lost today, Irfan Khan. As you are aware, he acted in several movies. your memory recollection of any movie that you saw him.
Well, I mean, a lot of good movies I saw where he acted. He was one of the classiest actor in recent history. And his last movie, English Medium, and and also what you call a couple of good movies. One with the tiger, I forgot.
Life of Pi. Life of Pi.
Life of Pi. I think he was a great actor, and we really will miss him. And unfortunately, he passed away at very young age of 56 because of the because of the cancer.
Right, right.
Uh, and that is one of those tragedy. But he was really talented person.
A very warm person, very talented person. Doctor, I want to recollect with you as we were talking about him. He acted in a movie Namesake, which was basically the story of NRIs. And
Yes,
wonderful.
yes, I have seen that movie, and it was excellent.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was very nicely made. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So now going to Maharashtra from with a different set of concern with respect to the sustainability of the current Maharashtra government. As you are aware, if Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray is not formally elected or doesn't become a member of the Legislative Council by 28th May, then he cannot continue to function as Chief Minister. And I may also mention here that governor can nominate 2 seats from his quota. The request is made, but he has not yet decided. What do you think should happen? And the relevant part here is that because of the lockdown, he couldn't face the other election.
Yeah, I mean that is true. I think this kind of, I mean, he is right now chief minister, and of course he has to follow the rules and regulation of the constitution, and govern everybody. And but right now situation is very unusual. Whether even though we may be in his favor or not in favor politically, but I think he should be given some leeway to figure it out or work it out, whole thing, because right now the more burning issues are there, which needs real attention, rather than this constitutional creating a constitutional crisis here.
So I think you are looking at it in a wholesome manner, which means indirectly you are of the opinion that governor should nominate him in spite of the political differences that they have had. Uh, if I am I correct in understanding your point of view that governor should nominate him?
I think so, because not because I like him, or I concur with his philosophy or political thinking, but right now we are, Maharashtra is number one state which are affected by this COVID-19. We don't know the full picture yet. It may be worse than what we have now once the lockdown is over. So let the government fight this real issue right now at hand, which is more important, which is a question of life and death, than worry about which political party uh, and what happens next. And I think that we can sort it out later on once everything is get over.
So prevention is better than cure, as they say, and in this case, you need a continuous prevention to avoid it from happening. Especially next 1 or 2 years, probably we will be having a different kind of world facing us. And Doctor, I also want to share with you as well as share with our viewers that World Bank has approved 400 million dollars of money for India to enhance its coastal resources, which is related to, of course, nature. And you have, and we have seen a lot of videos where you see clean Ganga and you see sometimes elephants walking on the street in.
Right, right.
So talk to me about the way we should relate to nature. Uh, One of the lessons from this phase.
Well, I mean, relation with the nature is a very fundamental human relations with anyone. So, and has to be done properly and has to be done very clean way. And that's why the clean rivers and clean park and clean reservoirs and reservations means jungle has to be there, and the animal has to be get protected, because otherwise and each and every animal has a role to play. And because of the this clean environment or cleanliness with the nature, that ecosystem is really important for the health of the human being. And that's why I'm glad that World Health Organization or World United Nations entity is helping India. It's really commendable, and we congratulate them, and we are thankful to them.
Share your advice to the students who are now facing an uncertain future. They came from India with American dream in their eyes, and now they may have to go back. And I think those who are passing their medical exams, they also will have to face some additional struggling period. Any words of advice from your side?
Well, I think for all the students of any faculty, they all will have challenging time ahead because of the situation in USA, because of the pandemic. The job situation will be worse. There will be a lot of competition, and it may end up getting a kind of more uh, uh, national. I mean, people from the, I mean, citizen will demand versus those who are non-citizen, and that's why one of the reasons why President temporarily suspended issuing the green card. And I will not surprise that he may suspend temporarily the H-1B visa. And so all these challenges are there. Plus, it will be not easy to get the position. Doesn't matter whether the person is a doctor or engineer or IT person. Will be very competitive and very challenging. But nothing you can do. That's the whole ecosystem is, and we have to try to do our best. Thank you.
And the point is that you don't lose hope and keep trying, and there is always a way. It could be difficult, but there is a way. That hope keeps us going. And
Yes.
as we conclude today's show, your final words from.
Well, I mean, dear friends, I always believe that this is a challenging time, and therefore we should be very, very vigilant. We should be, but we should be very hopeful, and do our best to overcome this crisis. And I'm sure we will, and we will prevail, and our victory will be there, and it will be sooner than later. So, wish you all the best, and. God bless America. God bless India. Goodbye. See you next week.